Do you take the time to listen to that quiet voice within you? Ah, it's a beautiful one, especially if you meditate and you really listen. It becomes very, very clear. I'm Lenny Wennerstrom, and I'm here to help you find your purpose. That's what I do on this channel, among many things. And one of the ways that I help you, one of the tools I use to help you to find your purpose, is I read a passage from Dr. Shad Helmstetter's book every single day, 365 Days of Positive Self-Talk for Finding Your Purpose. I don't know why I always get on my tippy toes, but it's kind of fun. Then I feel taller too. Hopefully I'm not knocking my little, because the wind kind of kicked up when I was doing the last video. Okay, so November 16th, 321 days. It's day 321 of the year, 45 days left in 2024, and we are 87.70% complete with the year. I'm going to put this up a little higher. Oh, then I just have a little head. Okay, there. I find time, for November 16th, that's today, Saturday, I find time to listen in the stillness. I listen carefully to the whispers of my soul. I listen to the quiet voice deep within me that believes in me and helps me walk along my path. And when I listen, it is clear to me that my life has a reason with great value and purpose, and I am not alone. A lot of times we think that we're alone, and we feel lonely. And I can give you from my own experience, Steve passing, sometimes I feel I miss his presence. I miss his earthly presence. I do feel his spirit presence, yet the ability to pick up the phone and call him, which I've done, and I happen to have his phone, and so that's not very comforting to hear the phone ring and I'm the one that has to pick it up or hang up. I used to do that when my mom died. I would call her number, and it was a way I felt connected to her. But it's a fool's errand. It might feel it's a tool. Everything is a tool, and it serves you so long as it serves you. And then you learn, and then you have better tools that help you even more to deal with things like grief and loneliness and those kinds of things. And so when you trust yourself and when you understand that you are not alone, and when you listen to that inner voice that's deep within you, and you believe what that inner voice is telling you, because it will never, ever steer you wrong. Not if it's coming from your heart. I'm not talking about your head. Your head says, I'm just going to have another smoke, or I'm going to gossip, or I'm going to, say something mean, or what are those things like? Because I'm just mad or something. That's different. I'm talking about from your heart, your magnetic heart that is when it's in coherence, when it's aligned with your brain, with your mind, beautiful things happen in your life, because then you are vibrating at a high frequency of love, of peace, of joy, of satisfaction. And so this is a place, this is where meditation and breathing exercises and things of that nature. And this is why I do Joe Dispenza's meditations. I love his meditations. I do my own meditations. I do. I just sit in the stillness and listen to my own voice, because I know that voice is not going to steer me wrong. That voice is my higher self, and that voice is my guide while I'm here on planet Earth to fulfill my purpose, to move into my purpose, and actually work within that purpose. So we're going to spin this around. And then I'm going to break especially one part of it down for you. You find time to listen in the stillness. You listen carefully to the whispers of your soul. You listen to the quiet voice deep within you that believes in you and helps you walk along your path. And when you listen, it is clear to you that your life has a reason with great value and purpose, and you are not alone. You are always with your higher self. You are always you are an individual expression of the one energy, consciousness, God, source, whatever you want to call that. You are an individual, as I am. But then, like the drops of the ocean that are up, and they're all different sizes and shapes and time when they went through the spray or whatever, and then they come down back into the ocean and they become the ocean. They have all the constituents of the ocean, yet they're individual drops, and then boom, right back into the ocean. That's you. That's me. We are individual expressions of God's source, whatever you want to call that, higher power. And so when we go back, look at the little birdie on the top of the tree. Isn't that cute? That's a chickadee. Oh, hello, you chickadee. That little birdie is an individual expression of the one as well. So is the tree. So it's all energy. It's all energy. Can you hear the cows? They're still herding them in. They're going home for the winter. So this, what I wanted to break down for you, you listen to the quiet voice deep within you that believes in you. Why is it that so many of us would have somebody else tell us what we need to hear or validate us, or that's important to us, that someone else recognizes us, that we be seen? It's what that video that I put in, was it 3 days ago, with Dr. Doty, Doty, the neurosurgeon? And I think it was 2 days ago that I put that in the description of the video. And it's a YouTube video, but you could go to Mel Robbins, her podcast, and listen to it there if you wanted to. It's really he talks about wanting to be seen and how important it was for him as a 12-year-old, and just what was going on in his life, and he did not feel seen or loved or cared about or any of that. It was so important for him to make money, because then he'd have made it and people would respect him, admire him, and he'd be seen. And he came to the place that's like, that's not what it's about. And because he made all the money, he has a wonderful life. He also lost it. He talks about having lost it and then getting it back, as a neurosurgeon, and however he did it. The point is, external things outside of you, they will not make you happy. When you just have respect and honor that you can do, be, change, have, create, become absolutely anything, then those material things, they just don't, it sounds like they're walking them up the road, the cows, but they just don't have, they're wonderful to have. And it's, planet Earth is a planet of taking action and creating things, creating a house, creating a wonderful life with a family, and giving them all the things you want to give them. And so beautiful clothes, and or maybe it's just values and love, or whatever it is you're able to give them. You're the one creating it. And so, but those things will not save you. Those things will not feel a hole. If you feel like you're lacking in some way, then you're not understanding that we live on in a very abundant universe. And when you know that, things like loss doesn't really exist. That's only in your head. Nothing has changed. Nothing. It might seem on planet Earth, and again, I use my own life because I can pull from my own life, but, or even Dr. Doty. Let's just use, he lost everything that he had. And I think he said something like that. But there's many people who have. There are many people who have lost, like almost rags to riches, and then riches to rags, and then they build themselves up again. And not everyone, but it's how it can happen. Oops, I don't know if I covered that because I got the wind. Fly like the wind. Anyway, so, but Dr. Doty found that there wasn't anything outside of him that was going to save him or fix anything. It was up to him to fill his heart with love and come from that magnetic heart to vibrate at a frequency of love and giving to others. And because in giving you receive. So this whole thing about listening, what happens, we start looking for something outside of us to complete us, to tell us that we're okay, to validate us. We're not listening to that quiet voice deep within. We haven't trained ourselves to trust that voice. And I'm going to tell you right now that there's a very easy solution way for you to get there. And I tell you every single video that I come on here, for the most part. And that is Dr. Shad Helmstedter's, his self-talk language, because it's rewiring the brain to have high self-esteem. The foundation of all of the programs on that app in his self-talk language is is built upon the foundation of self-esteem, building that self-esteem. Once you have a high self-esteem, you have self-confidence, self-belief, and you know that you are responsible for your life, and you're not blaming anyone else for, oh, my parents didn't have money, so I don't have money, or none of us will ever make it, or that person stole this from me, or took that, or whatever it is. If you're blaming anything outside of you, it's not that you're blaming yourself either, but if you're blaming anything outside of you and not just taking responsibility for saying, okay, that happened, that sucked, and now I'm going to create this, and it's a lesson learned, and I'm a better person because of it. It wasn't fun, but here I am, and I'm starting from here. And that's how you do it. That's how you take responsibility, you see the opportunities, you come from a place of love and compassion. Forgiveness is not for others. Forgiveness is for you. If you are carrying something and you're so angry because someone did something to you, took something from you, then you are a victim. You've given away your power to that someone or a place, or say a storm that just took your whole house. And so now you're really angry, and are these unfortunate events on planet Earth? They can be. I could be very angry that someone, God, took my husband, and I could blame God or someone and be very angry because Steve, actually, his health was way better on the day that he died than it was when he actually started the journey. Like, he had 10 to 15% of his heart working, and he was doing fine on that. I mean, not like super fine, but he really was. He was living, he was doing fine in the sense of that he was able to have a quality life and everything. And then he got to 40%. So he had even way more. And most people, my understanding is that most people don't even use more than 55% of their heart in that way. And this is why I love Dr. Joe Dispenza's stuff, because there's a lot about the heart and the coherence of the mind, the brain, and the heart, and the body, like the body holding onto things, and you get to tell the body, because it's subjective. Your mind is objective, it's not subjective, and you get to say, this is what it is, this is my reality, and you get to train your brain. And this is what Dr. Shad Helmstetter's his language of self-talk language is all about. It's about training your brain so that all of a sudden you have that high self-esteem, or that self-esteem, you grow into that, you have that self-confidence, that self-belief, high self-esteem, and then pretty soon you don't need validation. Pretty soon you're not blaming others, you're taking responsibility. That's not a heavy thing. That is an honor and a privilege to take responsibility for your life, because then who's deciding who has the power? Who's deciding where you're going, what you're doing, and how you're doing it? You are. You are. It's very, very powerful. And when you have your brain as that tool that you get to use, and your heart, and you come from a place of love, compassion, and you are rewiring. So you're putting in that, you're listening to that language that Dr. Shad Helmstetter has created for us, and you listen every single day, twice a day, even once a day, 15 minutes. You just listen, and it's going into your brain. It's recording, and pretty soon it's rewiring, and then one day you wake up and it's like, first of all, you feel positive, like probably that day or in the next couple of days. It's like, wow. But you listen to it passively. It's when you're doing something else. It's when you're driving, or you're exercising, or you're making breakfast, or you're taking a shower, or whatever it is. And it's passive. You're not, because at first it's like, I'm not that great. I don't do that. I'm not good enough. I'm not organized. All these programs that we have right now running that are just like, they're like, that's the resistance, right? And your brain, I'm not that way. That's a lie. I'm not that way. But the thing is it a lie? Or did you just get programmed when you were born with unlimited promise and potential, and then you got programmed? So it might be your truth now, but you get to change those programs. You are the one driving the bus. You are the one driving the boat with the rudder, with going the way that you want to go. And that self-belief, listening to that voice. This is why I wanted to break it down. When you trust that voice, you will never go wrong, ever. You will never, ever go wrong, because that is your compass. So I talk about finding your purpose here a lot, because that's going to give you meaning, which is going to give you direction. You know the direction you're going. Your compass is that inner voice within. because your power resides within you. You are the power. You are the compass. And when you listen to it, you're going to go you're going to go exactly where you need to go, and when you need to go, and how you need to go. And you might have just you might have challenges and other things along the way, but you're still going in the right direction. So that listening to that voice deep within is key and critical to your self development, personal development on planet Earth, and and training your brain, rewiring your brain will help you to get there. And because you'll have that high self-esteem, you will. This is why I went into it. I explain this all the time. And as a spiritual guide and mentor, I knew that I can say these lofty things like everything is a message to me for positive change. And then something really bad happens. Like, say, for me, Steve passes. Steve transitions, my husband. And then all of a sudden I'm knocked to the ground because now I've got to figure out the finances. I got to figure like all the stuff, the Social Security, the titles, it's like all over the board. And it's like, poof, it just hits you. This is what you have to do. I wasn't planning on Steve transitioning. And I knew that it could. And it's not like everything, when you go into hospice, by the way, they have services where at least the hospice that I'm working with, Fremont Hospice, so amazing. Gifts from the universe, gift from yourself. These peeparoos have everything lined up for you, from grief services, from all the things you need. Like if you need diapers for your loved one, if you need pads, if you need hospital, if you have them at home and you need like a hospital table, the little tables that wheel around, which they brought some for me, gloves, whatever you need, they find a way to bring it to you. They are so amazing. And then they have these services that you don't even know, like the social worker, his name is George. That guy got us like all the before, not even knowing whether Steve was going to pass or not, but in case that did happen, which it did, the crematoriums, the mortuaries, what the cost. And so when that happened, I was able to get the phone number and make the call and have them come and get Steve's vehicle that he disposed of when his spirit left. And so his body. So, I would highly suggest, because hospice is not just for people who are dying, actively dying. It gives you a break from the hospital and from places that are saying, this is how you're going to do it. You're going to have, like Steve pulled every single thing, as you know. He pulled all of his IVs. He pulled even the the kidney, whatever, what do you call that? The dialysis. He pulled that twice. And he's pulled everything. So, and created great things that were not so good for him. So he had to be restrained. It was really awful. Getting him into hospice was his best chance of overcoming everything and getting healthy again, getting out of the delirium, that hospital delirium, and not being restrained and all of those things. That was his chance. And it just so happens that that's his journey. It was a different plan than mine. Mine was, you're still going to be here. You're going to get out of your delirium. You're going to be healthy. And you're going to listen to self-talk every single day. And you're going to listen to the meditations by Joe Dispenza, because they're the ones he loved. So almost every single day, except when he said he didn't want to, but mostly I would play them in the background for myself or whatever. Because that's how it works, neuroplasticity. It's always recording. And so that's a great way. Yeah, that self-esteem and all of this, and I'm going from this because that victim, I could be really angry with, you took my husband. No, why am I going to put energy towards that? You know where I'm going to put energy? I'm going to put energy towards me growing and becoming a better version of myself, and focusing on my goals, my purpose, and being here for you, because you are part of my purpose. You are part of my legacy. If you are watching all the time, I want you to understand that you were created with unlimited promise and potential. And then you got programmed, and now that you know, you can change those programs and you can find success in every single area of your life. It's that simple. I've shown you how you can excel in times of change. I've shown you every single day I've come on with where Steve's at in his journey and how I'm dealing with it and what I'm doing. And mostly, you can always count that I was using my self-talk. That stress, worry, and depression, use that a lot. The defeating problems, use that a lot. And then just the self-esteem, use that at night. It's like, I got this, I'm worthy. I'm like, I know that this is part of, this is part of my journey. I kept my spirituality strongly around me. I came from love and compassion with the 2 sets of nurses a day, the 2 CNAs, all the doctors, all the myriad of doctors, the people who believed as I do, people who didn't, most who didn't. So, and it's like, it's okay because they have a different framework, and that's okay. And so when you have that, you're no longer a victim. You are empowered. You're coming from a place of power. You are now the one driving your boat. You are now the one moving in harmony rather than opposition. And the more you live in opposition, the more difficult your life becomes. Difficult, remember, I say this all the time, it is a state of mind. Yet if you are resisting anything, you are creating energy. It's not flowing energy. You are creating resistance, and that resistance is going to make your life much more difficult because you're creating resistance, and it's going to show up in your life, and it's a lower frequency. So that resistance is going to be not accepting that someone has passed, or angry, not forgiving. We talk about forgiveness. It's, and just so angry because somebody did something to you, or whatever it is. And that forgiveness, it's not for the other person. They could give a flying frickarola, whatever that is, for the most part. I mean, some people just beg for forgiveness because they need someone to tell them, like, you're okay, it's okay, whatever you did, it's okay. That also is very low frequency because you're looking for someone to absolve you of whatever you did. And these are all just experiences. If we got that, we wouldn't even be in a place of anything that is negative. We'd be in a place of, man, that's the human experience, and that wasn't very fun, and that wasn't really nice of me, and I really don't like that I did that. And so there's contrast, and now it's like, okay, I don't want to be like that. I'm going to be like this. And so, in fact, one of my clients just yesterday, she said that one of her goals was to be more kind to other peopleroos all the time. And I almost got tears because I guess I did get tears because when we come from a place of love and compassion and kindness to others, and we actually see it and we know it, it feels good and we know it. That is our natural state. That's a state we want to be in. Not it's difficult, or this is hard, or this is, all of those things. It's our natural state to be loving, compassionate, kind. That's our natural state. And anything else where we're as a lower frequency, being angry or frustrated or any of those things, again, those are just human emotions. It's an honor and a privilege to be able to feel them because they give us the contrast from what we want to what we don't want. What we don't want, that doesn't feel good, to be frustrated or angry or not forgiving someone. We give away our power with that. We constantly give away our power when we are invoking those emotions, because then someone else did something to us or something happened to us, and we don't like it. And that's okay not to like something, because again, it's just this balance, this balance of imperfection that is perfect. And when you get there and you're living in the now and you're living from love and compassion and kindness and all of those things, it's a frequency changer, and it's a higher frequency changer. So then the heart being that magnetic, having it being that magnetic charge that it is, and just out there, and so everything is coming to it, because it's like, here's the yin and yang, or the negative and positive, meaning in the like batteries or something, and it's like a magnet. And so you open up your heart, and those things that you want the most come to you. It might not look the very same. It might be like way better. It might be a little less than what you expected, but it's actually perfect and you're happy with it. It doesn't really matter, but you're bringing it in. You're creating from the invisible, bringing in to the visible. And your brain, electric, sending out those signals. Again, same thing. And think about the particle and the wave. It's almost all wave, 99.99%. Because I don't, however many nines. And then it's 0.9999, whatever that is. How do I know? Because Joe Dispenza has measured it, and others have measured it. The heart coherence, they've measured it. They measured different things. They've measured all kinds of things. I don't have a little instrument to measure those things, so I am repeating like a parrot. But I believe it because of these people that have shown the things that have worked for them. And so I encourage you to do your own research on that, and really research neuroplasticity, research what positive talk does, and the 77% of programs that neuroscientists and researchers say that in our conscious minds are negative and they're counterproductive and they hurt us. We sabotage ourselves with those programs. And the worst ones are the 90 to 95% in our subconscious mind. And so if we know that, which you now do, and I do, and you know how to do it, you can listen to Dr. Doty, D-O-T-Y. You can listen to Joe Dispenza. You can listen to Shad Helmstetter. Any way that you find it, do it. You know you can change your programs in your brain. You are in charge. So I hope that you start looking for it. But I'm going to tell you that there is not one. The quickest, the easiest way is to download the Self-Talk app from Dr. Shad Helmstetter, and it's always in my in the description. Download it, and you get 30 days free. And after that, you talk about the cheapest therapy, and it's not therapy at all. It's neuroplasticity. It's neuroscience. It's rewiring your brain. If you repeat, especially if there's emotion and intention to change your programs. But you do that, and you are changing your programs, and you're coming at it from a scientific place. But that, having higher self-esteem and the other things, self-belief and self-confidence and all those things, that in itself will shift you. You will not be looking for people to say, oh, you're okay, and I forgive you, and all this stuff, because I was talking about forgiveness. I don't know if I ever finished, but I'm just telling you that forgiveness, it's for you. It's not for someone else. It is for you to take your power back and say, that sucked. That person really did that. And like my brother, I sold him my fat boy, and then I don't think he even had it 3 months, and he went back to Albuquerque, and someone stole it. And man, it just hurt him because he had put so much money and so much effort, and he loved that bike. I did too. Wonderful bike. And he, it's something that it's like you can be really angry because somebody took something from you, and then you're giving them power, rather than you taking your power back and saying, man, that sucked. Oh, I love that bike. But it's okay, because it was meant to be. Everything is a message to me for positive change. Whatever is on the other side of that change is better for me. It's better for me because I chose it. If I came onto this planet and I chose it, if you believe as I do, that you chose everything, you came here, this time, this space, this place, you chose it all, how could it possibly be wrong? You set it up for yourself so you could learn a lesson, take a different way to get where you're needing to go for your soul's growth, for your consciousness, of your expansion of consciousness, whatever that is. So I love you so very, very mucho. Hola, Hita. Here's
and now
Lynette.
She has to finish because she has to see her clean office.
Oh, wait, she's going to come and tell me something. Look at my ears. This is so funny because this is Lynette's hat and it's too big for me, so I have to tuck in my ears. I don't think I've ever tucked in my ears on a hat before.
Well, it's too big, so I don't get those lines on my hair.
She doesn't want lines. Look at my little Hita. Yes. CosmicMoves.com. Do-do-do!
But now she's going to say goodbye because she has to come look at her clean office.
She has been, these, okay. There's it because the wind.
She has to go because she has to come look at her clean office.
They've been her friend Krikord, which means Gregory. I didn't know that. In Armenian. I don't know why I thought he was Croatian. I've always said he's Croatian, but he's Armenian. And he, what was I saying? Yeah. Oh, his name is Gregory. It means Gregory, and it's a patron saint, an Armenian patron saint. And there's a Saint Gregory Catholic, and who knows? But anyway, found that really interesting. So this whole thing. Okay. Huh? Oh,
Bye.
Lynette wants to say goodbye. So I love you so very, very much. And think about that forgiveness. Think about you really taking your power back, and you really learning to listen to that quiet voice within, and have the confidence to know that it's guiding you because you chose it, and it is your higher self speaking to you, and it's always true. It is your compass, it is your guiding light, and it will never steer you wrong. If it's not coming from the brain, it's coming from the heart, it's coming from within. It's right on. It's right on. So learn to trust that. Learn to go into meditation and listen and trust that. So November 16th, I find time to listen in the stillness. I listen carefully to the whispers of my soul. I don't know what that was, but that was a whisper. I listen to the quiet voice deep within me that believes in me. That quiet voice believes in me. It is you. And helps me walk along my path. And when I listen, it is clear to me that my life has a reason with great value and purpose, and I am not alone. You are never alone. I love you so very, very mucho. That is it. Lynette is waiting for me, and that's the story. I hope you're having an amazing, awesome, fantabuloso day. The cows are mooing away, and they're going home, and everything is wonderful. And I love you so very, very much. I think I already said that. I know, I believe in you. You can do this. You can find your purpose. You can do, be, become, have, create, change absolutely anything in your life. You are the driver of your own boat with a rudder. Get that rudder really tight. You know exactly where you're going. Yep, that's the story. So we will see you tomorrow, as always, shining my light to brighten yours. Ciao, Maine. Bzz.